You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Dancing with the Stars After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Dancing with the Stars After Show.
All right, Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another episode of Dancing with the Stars here on AFTERBUZZ TV. It is season 17, week 3, and we have a lot going on and a lot to talk about. It was a busy night last night. So I'm Kristyn Burtt. So glad you guys are joining us here tonight. I will start by introducing my co-host across the table from me, Jake DuPree.
Hi, I'm Jake DuPree.
Next to him, laughing.
In case you didn't know.
Suri Serano.
Hi.
Joining us via phone tonight is Trebunskaya.
Hey, everybody.
Ooh, hey. And baby Trebunskaya.
Yay. You love saying that.
I do, because every week we've got, a little baby bump. It's so cute. And of course, our guest tonight is Sharna Burgess.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Back in the studio with us. Thanks for being here. We sure appreciate it. And we have to say, we wish you were still on. We're
me
so
too.
sad to see you go. But
It's all right.
I know. But so much to talk about. And, let's just talk about your experience a little bit with Kishan. How was it? What were your highlights? What were your frustrations?
It was really, really interesting. Going in, having an athlete, I had a whole different set of expectations and a whole different set of choreography and ideas. But he struggled to really get into the process and to enjoy it. He was really a fish out of water. And in the beginning, I didn't know why he was there or why he had agreed to do the show because it just came across as a complete disinterest. And unfortunately, I think everybody saw that on week 1. And too little, too late. Week 2, he comes around and he finally starts to get into the groove of it, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to give it energy and everything else. But now everybody votes on week 1. So unfortunately, as much energy as he could put into that samba, my arms were about to come out of my socket. There was energy in that samba, but it just wasn't going to be enough.
Did you know? Did you feel it? Oftentimes people say, we knew we were going home that week.
I knew. I thought the only chance that we had of staying in was if we got 8s on our samba. And it had honestly through the week been better, but with adrenaline and him trying to give it every possible bit of energy that he had, it threw so many things out the window, and so we got 6s. And as soon as I saw that first 6, I was like, I'm going home. It's not going to happen. I mean, Bill Nye has such an incredible fan base that was keeping him at 3 million hits on his chart.
That's incredible.
That's amazing. Who can beat that? And so I knew in my heart, and it was such a shame because I truly thought I'm going to be, in there. Maybe not the finale, who knows, but I'm going to be close to it, and I'm so excited and the possibilities. And he was so big, like he could literally lift me over his head with his little finger.
Like, lifts, we're going to do lifts.
Just never got to a dance where I could do lifts. I was screaming for contemporary, but we never got the opportunity. So
that's too bad. Was it also hard? Was he traveling back and forth quite a bit? Were you traveling with him?
Oh my goodness, we were traveling so much. Every Friday to Sunday we were flying to Connecticut because he does ESPN, and we were so limited on rehearsal time. Even though we're limited to 4 hours a day now, we weren't even able to get that some days. It was 1 hour, 2 hours, through the week because he's so busy. He's got so much going on. And that traveling, missing out on camera blocking on Sunday, having to do it Monday morning, and just the whole process, it was really different and quite difficult to deal with, but not at the same time, not impossible. We could have done it if there was that energy and that interest there, so it's just really unfortunate.
Oh, but we're glad you're here.
Yeah,
that's what we are.
Happy to be here.
We still wish you were on the show, but we're glad to see you dancing in the opening number.
Beautiful. Great opening number.
Great opening number.
It was great.
PETA and Mark did that together, and just Hollywood night kind of turned into Gatsby night a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
for sure. Everyone went old Hollywood.
Old Hollywood. But, what I love about the opening numbers, and we've said this before, but every week it's different, so you never never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly.
What was it like performing in the opening number?
Oh, it was so much fun. I think they put such a great routine down, and that song and everything was so different and so cool.
I love that song.
And
That Bjork song is amazing.
Oh, so good. And the different vignettes that they used through the studio and the poker game. And it was just, there was so many great elements to that number, and then just some really great dancing. So I really, really enjoyed that one. It was so much fun.
Do you think they'll be using everyone that's sort of off the show each week to come back?
Yeah, I think so. As far as I know, we'll all be coming back to do opening numbers. And
Good.
as soon as more time frees up through the season, we'll be doing pro numbers and things like that. But with 2 hours, there is just no time for that anymore.
It is. And we got to keep moving along, too, because we've got 11 dances to talk about as well. So let's kick it off with Leah and Tony doing the rumba. I'm going to start with Anna, since she's joining us by phone. What did you think?
Well, I really liked it, actually, and the fact that it wasn't Gatsby was kind of nice. You know what? She's such an amazing performer that I think no matter what she does, she will sell. And the choice of her costumes she has every single week, I think, is very smart, very clever. I thought she looked sexy, yet still very feminine and elegant. Now, because of the dress she chose to kind of wear, you couldn't really see the leg action very much. And I think that is so important in rumba, is to really see the lady kind of using her feet and using her legs. Now, there could be two things. It could be something that she's just more comfortable wearing, or it could be strategic, like, well, your leg action isn't as strong quite yet, so let's cover it up. So I'm curious which one it was. But regardless, I thought she did a good job. She improved. I thought her footwork improved. I thought her arm styling improved. She still needs to work a bit on posture because she gets tiny bit collapsed when she goes into more high-impact moves or different kind of dips or kind of tricky stuff. Like, she gets a little bit freaked out about it.
A little slouchy,
But
maybe.
Other than,
A little slouchy, I was saying.
a little slouchy, yeah. So she needs to work on that. But I love the way she sells it, and I think, honestly, she probably has one of the better stories every single week on the show. One of the, let's say, stronger personalities, and you kind of want to see what's going to happen this week with Leah. What is she going to talk about? I thought she was just, you know, she's an entertainer. She's been in this business forever. She knows how to play to the camera, so
She does.
that really helps.
Yeah, no, what did you guys think? Because, I mean, her improvement overall week to week, I think, has been fantastic, and that's really what I've enjoyed watching her each week.
I mean, she's one of the few contestants that you're going to see super improve every week. Like, there's a few that are absolutely incredible, like Corbin. You know, they're going to be consistently great.
Right.
But with Leah, she's the shock of the season. She's the one that's going to be like, look how far she's come. And, like, she's even looking better and, like, tightening up. She just looks good. And that one move where she dropped down and that leg was out to the side, I was like, that's Leah Remini doing this. Like, that's amazing. Like, I don't know. I root for her because there's something extremely likable about her, and I hope that she does really well.
I agree. What do you think, Suri?
I agree with both of them. She's doing great every week. She's fun to watch. She's hilarious, and I love these two together.
I do
Tony's doing a
too.
great
I
job
thought
with her.
Tony, I knew that their personalities were going to get along because she's not going to take anything from him and he's going to give it right back, which I think is perfect, the two of them. How about in the studio? I mean, since you were there this week, I mean, you can notice it watching it live too, her overall improvement?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and what I love about her is when you see her in camera blocking, when you see her in rehearsal, she's so into it and she's really trying to learn, but she is so hard on herself. So much pressure on herself when she gets it wrong, and you see such a human moment from her, and I love that. And you see her push through it, and Tony's such an amazing teacher and person. He's really guiding her through so many things through this process, and it's just so wonderful to watch. And then she comes out there, lights, camera, action, and that face. I live for that face.
I was like, oh.
Just that, the first number that she did, when she just had the arms and the hands and the everything, it was just like, yes, girl. I was like,
She's full character.
Oh, loved it.
Yeah, that rumba got her 24, 8s across the board. I know you were saying you weren't sure about the 8s, or...
I think there's a lot of couples that got 8s, and in comparison to the other ones that get 8s, it seemed it was a tiny bit inflated.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I think like it's one of those nights where they were judging, well, you did better than last week, so here's your 8 kind of thing, where you're judging
I think
against
it's
yourself.
an encouragement score.
Yeah, an encouragement score. That's going to be a new one from now on. Encouragement score by the judges. That's a new one because I think it's going on this season. All right, second was Corbin and Karina doing the quickest quick step we've ever seen anywhere. And I like that she's taking some risks in choreography because she knows Corbin can handle it. It was a little, maybe just a hair fast.
Yeah.
Because it sacrificed his hold and everything else.
Yeah, there were some moments where his shoulders were a little forward, but it's like with him, we can nitpick him because we can, because he's capable of doing amazing. I just think that was an awesome routine by her. I'm glad that she was just like, you know what, we're just going balls to the wall and let's do it.
Yeah.
So I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Super entertaining. One of my top 3 of the night.
I think so,
for
too.
sure.
Now, I'd love to hear from both Sharna and Anna on this because we've been talking a lot about content this season, and this is the first of the quick steps we're seeing, and a lot of people are saying why certain people got higher scores than, especially Corbin, where he did have such a strong quick step. What did you guys see?
I loved the routine. I thought for me the content was great. It was, yes, his form struggled a little with the speed. I actually know that Karina asked to slow the song down and they wouldn't allow her to do it.
See, good things to know.
That's a behind the scenes thing there. She asked to slow it down because of form, but they said, no, we want it fast. So, you have to do it. Damn. And I think handled it beautifully. I think it was a great routine. It was so musical. It did push boundaries. And it was just entertaining the whole way through. For me, I loved it.
Anna, what did you see?
I liked it. Again, I feel because we know he has hip-hop background. He kind of showed it to us. So I think that hip-hop background in this particular dance worked slightly against him because in hip-hop you kind of get into the ground with your upper body and you are, your body, your shoulders and your sternum kind of expresses the rhythm of what your feet are doing, but in the quick step it's the opposite. You have to keep your upper body and your shoulders completely isolated from what your feet are doing. And your feet are going 200 miles an hour and your upper body should still float like nothing is happening.
You might have got 300.
And you're just not used to that. And I think it's great that he challenged himself, but at the same time I was like, really? Was that necessary?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at all pros and cons, if he would have a routine that had, instead of 50 different figures, he would have 45 figures, but maybe slightly slower. It wouldn't dilute the quality of him as a dancer, and it wouldn't necessarily make it less exciting because the music was exciting, the whole idea of the song was, the quick step is just an exciting dance. Like you can't go around it. So I'm like, was it really necessary? That's my thing.
Well, the judges gave him a 26, which was not the highest score for the quick step, which we will get to and talk about that.
Yeah.
So let's hold that thought because we're going to move into the foxtrot with Elizabeth and Val. I feel like someone has done a number on Elizabeth Berkley's confidence because I feel like she's been holding back. It's growing.
It is.
And she's getting there, and this was a kind of a nice breakout thing for her. But what is it? Because I keep on seeing everyone's Twitter feed, and I see articles, and I see comments and everything else. People are not connecting with Elizabeth just yet.
I don't know what it is because I think last night for some reason I was like, finally, there she is. That's who I was expecting because, Showgirls, we always talk about it every week, but amazing. She's great. Boom, boom,
Love
boom. And I don't know, I just want that from her. Like, I want that fire to come out of her. And I thought last night, she was really, really beautiful. Like, she looked, and she was really committed in the dance. I just felt like she was really present. Yeah. Whereas before, I feel like she's timid and kind of worried about being perfect. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, I agree with you, and she's lovely to watch. She's a good dancer. She's strong, but there's something in me that I'm not connecting with either of them as a couple. I don't know what it is.
Maybe they don't have chemistry. I don't know.
It's almost like, you know how we talked about it last week, where I said there's almost like the student syndrome. And it's getting better. Oh my gosh, well, she's so much better this week. Finally, we saw like a little bit of cleavage, right? Remember we talked about that? And we saw her arms, and I think she looks fantastic. I think she's a beautiful woman. And I don't know how I'm going to feel after giving birth and a year later. I don't know. Maybe I'll still feel like, oh my gosh, I feel horrible. But she's beautiful. She just needs to embrace that and get back to it. And I think that's the whole reason why she's doing the show. Like she said that in the beginning, I just want to get back into who I am and rediscover that because I've been a mommy for the last year and a half, which is fantastic. But I almost feel she is trying to be too perfect. And what that does to her on emotional level is that she becomes cold and she cuts herself off. Because when you go for perfection, you kind of become blah, if that makes sense, emotionally.
Yeah, and it seems like it's holding her back. Are you seeing that too, Sharna?
Yeah, I see that. I think it comes from so many other things. Like Showgirls, we all love that movie, but I think it was a little ahead of its time, and unfortunately, it ruined her career.
Yeah.
And so she has quite a complex about being sexy and performing and everyone thinking of that of her. And she's constantly trying to not be that. So I think that's where you see the blank wall, because she's literally left dancing. It ruined her career. She left it. She just tried to forget everything about it.
So sad.
And she's trying to enjoy and embrace dancing, but she takes it so seriously, like almost too seriously. She's not finding the love in it. She's not letting herself perform and explore herself in it. She's afraid, I think, to perform.
I think I agree with Sharna. I think that's what it's kind of painful for us to watch as well. It's painful for her, and that's what she projects. And then it's painful for us. You know what I mean? We kind of want those guys to enjoy themselves and have a good time and let it go and overcome and really kind of show us why dancing is such an amazing thing, because it's so much fun.
Yeah, and I almost feel
like it's brain surgery. It's not. It's dancing. And Showgirls was however many years ago, 10, 15 years ago. It's a different era. It's a different time. Dancing is much more acceptable now than it was back then, and it's like, just roll with it.
Yeah, I almost feel like she needs that.
To say, sitting on the couch drinking my cup of tea.
I know, we're all the best armchair judges and everything and critics, but I think she does need that sort of like emotional breakthrough in the rehearsal studio, just to kind of let her guard down and go.
She needs to go to like it sounds weird, but like movement therapist or somebody who's like, no, I don't want to say sex therapist because that's not my business, really.
No, we don't want to start that.
And it's really interesting.
But, somebody who could be like, listen, it's okay if you can embrace this and just be.
Absolutely.
And I think she's so gorgeous that she just needs to be.
Okay, Jake, go ahead.
It's interesting seeing Val with this type of partner, because he's usually partnered with someone that's like easy, and they're like, yeah, we dance and we have so much fun, and it's with her. I feel like she always is wanting to live up to what he expects, but he's like, I don't want to expect anything from you. I want you to surprise me and like let this be a journey. And like you said, that's what we're missing.
Yeah, it's tough. It's unfortunate.
It is tough.
And that movie is now a classic.
I know. I love it.
Everybody loves that movie. I live for that movie.
It's on VH1. We're like,
All the time, yes.
25 for their Foxtrot. And we move on, and here we go. The quick step with Brant and Peta. And let's talk about this, because first of all, he's robbed at gunpoint, and he hands over his Latin dance shoes, which I think is the greatest Dancing with the Stars story ever. I actually rewound it to listen to that again. I'm like, did he just say that?
Yeah.
I thought he was. I did too. I was like, what just happened? Is he actually saying this? That's weird. Like, I didn't expect that at all.
I thought it was the storyline originally for the quick step, and then I'm like, oh no, this really happened. He had a bad week. He has a sprained ligament. He was in an orthopedic boot all week, so another one of our injured souls. And here we go with the quick step, and I think that this was a nice step up for them. There were some form problems though, and I called it the dead fish foot that a lot of the men have. It's hard. It's hard for the men to do that. But was this better than Corbin? What do we think?
The only thing I think he kept consistently better than Corbin was his frame, but that's due to tempo and choreography. I don't think that it was better than Corbin. You saw Peter's face when she got all nines. She was like, yes.
My face was the same.
Yeah, right. And I think a lot of people were, and especially we're talking about in comparison to what else has been out there and what else has been getting 8s and 9s. It just wasn't that for me. It was a great routine. I think Peter did great. I think Brant, being a true no-dance experienced person, did a fantastic job. But in comparison to what is in the competition this time in this series, it was just not a 9 for me. The dead fish thing, the jumpy frame, losing connection between the two bodies, footwork being a little off sometimes. I feel like those things got overlooked.
Yeah, why wasn't that called out?
Yeah.
I don't understand, because they're so inconsistent with that.
Do you think it was an encouragement score again?
I think a 9 is a pretty big encouragement score.
Hello, yeah.
I mean, that's like, you're doing really well.
I was really pleasantly surprised with his footwork. I thought that it was sharp and nice. I mean, his frame was kind of jumpy for me, but like I don't know, I was really surprised that he could accomplish that dance.
Right.
And I'm glad because I think that he's going to progress. He's another one that is going to have a good progression.
He's having fun.
Yeah.
He goes out there and he performs. And I liked that it was a little bit less of the sex thing that was thrown at us because before I was like, woo!
Oh, the showman.
The showman.
I saw a picture on a blog and it had the two of them kissing outside of the studio. So can you let us in on any like
And the
inside
paparazzi.
gossip?
Really?
We know you're
saw it.
besties
In the
with Vita.
paparazzi, in the paparazzi area, though.
I am, but this week I've been away. I haven't been around. I don't know what's going on.
Get
About to
the
text
dirt.
her. Where's
Get
my
the
phone?
Here, you can borrow
What
mine.
is going on, girl? Oh my God. Really? I mean, look, they're both single, they're both gorgeous, and they're both having fun. If you're going to do it, do it. Just don't mess around with it. You know what I mean? Don't fake it. No one likes the faking it thing.
No.
Exactly.
If you are, you are.
Commit.
You know? Commit to it.
We've got
God
lots
damn
of,
it.
I mean, because between Derek and Nina and Max and Kate Upton,
Yes, ma'am.
why not add a third couple to the mix? Let's do
Right.
it. All right. What did you think of their quick step?
It was fun, but I agree with everything you guys said.
Yeah.
Definitely not 9.
No, it wasn't a nine.
I think clean.
It was slight. It
7s
was
and 8s.
definitely overscored, I think. I mean, okay, there's an example. Like when you guys say, is it as good as Corbin? No, it's not as good as Corbin's, but it also was like 30-40% less intense than Corbin's.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't as packed as Corbin's. It was so much more simple. It had more breaks. It had more sort of musical little places where he could gather himself and relax, which I think was very, very smart because he is not a dancer. He needs kind of those moments to recover, but he's a great actor. You know, he's cute, and he needs to kind of plug in that charm that he has. And I think it's almost like every single week that the judges scoring them, it's almost like they are so bedazzled by
Their beauty.
The soap
Brent
opera
and
smile.
Peter
Yeah.
beauty and hotness and
The
glitzy
Peter effect.
costumes, because I thought first of all their costumes were fantastic. Okay?
Yes,
It looks
they were.
great.
Yeah.
My favorite look of the night. But it's almost like they bedazzled by it, you know, with all the smoke and mirrors of that.
They can't see past the pretty sheen.
Isn't that a hard life? Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Okay, so 27 for them. I did like that his foot didn't really hamper the performance, so
Yeah,
good for him
yeah.
for battling through that. We move on to Valerie and Tristan doing the cha-cha. It was Grace
I love this
and
woman,
Freddie.
though.
No, I love this woman so much, and she looks great as a blonde, I have
Yeah,
to say.
she
I was
does.
like,
Goodness, she looked amazing.
oh my, she looked so
great.
young, too.
Yes, she
I was
did.
like, you should go blonde. Why not? She was incredible. So the steps are escaping her, and, you know, I was wondering if it was song choice, because cha-cha is hard if you're not understanding the rhythm. But I thought that song choice was a little bit challenging to kind of hear, maybe the
Yeah, it
counts or the
was.
rhythm. That's what I thought.
Anna was just saying,
Yeah, Anna, do you think the same thing?
It was absolutely, the song choice was odd. It was more of a tango rhythm. It was more ballroom, actually. It was more tango, maybe Paso Doble rhythm, but it wasn't a cha-cha. It really wasn't. And, you know, Tristan sort of did the best he could, and I have to give him props for choosing to wear white leggings. And it's so not Tristan. I'm like, oh my gosh, you must love this woman so much.
I think we all do.
Wear those outfits, because Tristan wears black pants and black shirts.
Yeah, he does all the time. We've seen him.
He doesn't like any sparkles, and here he is in white leggings and a gold jacket. Like, to me, that's
Freddie
like,
Mercury.
and his porn stash.
that was so cute.
I mean, I don't even know how to judge this, but you know, I'm totally have a massive crush on Tristan if I didn't already. But it's just one of those things. It's such a sweet relationship. I'm glad that I think it was Len said something to him. Just you know, you're such a great partner to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a great partner to all of his partners. He's just such an incredible person in the ballroom and off the ballroom, you know. I adore that man, and I adore the relationship they have and how he's taking care of her, and her for just her never-ending, relentless spirit and
Smile.
joy and smile, and everything's okay. And everything is great, and life is amazing. She really makes you think, I need to enjoy life.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, goodness, this woman's got it right, you know, and she's just such an incredible inspiration. And sadly, yes, the steps escaped her, and as if you're just looking at dance, it was not very good. But at the end of the day, did it make me feel great? It did.
Definitely.
She always
I love seeing
does.
her.
So true.
too.
I just
was
like
running
clapped,
ear to ear.
like,
I like that even though she
end
forgot
of it, I was
even though she forgot the steps, she was still like using that skirt
Oh,
to flourish.
she's like, I know, I'm just
was
a
like-
skirt. When
she
in
was
doubt,
like,
skirt.
it was like okay by me in America, like okay by me, and that's what it was like.
Made in America.
Maybe that song would have been easier to dance the cha-cha
I
to.
mean, probably.
Can you refuse a song? Because that song, I was like, I think I would have panicked.
It's just an interesting choice, like weird.
It is weird.
You can refuse songs. It depends on clearance issues, though.
Yeah.
And if
Time.
you say too late in the week, this is not going to work for me, because we only get our song Sunday. So if you don't know straight away, I can't stand this song, it's not happening. If you get to Monday, Tuesday, they'll go, it's too late to change the song.
Wow.
You know, so you have to be able to listen to it and go, not going to work, let's work something else out.
Yep.
But for the most part, we submit songs at the start of the season that we want for each dance. Week 1 and 2 we can't because it's already done. But from week 3 onwards, you submit songs.
Good to know.
So it might have been one of Tristan's choices, or it might have just been he didn't have any choices that week, and they said, "Hey, let's do this. It's Hollywood week. Try that." And he goes, "Okay."
Yeah, I mean, it certainly wasn't Gatsby, so it was fun to
Right.
have something a little bit different too. I did like it.
She looked a little bit like Evita to me too, a little bit for some reason. Yeah, I just wanted to. I don't know.
Stand by the window. Did you want to stand by the window, Jake,
Yeah,
and
like
sing?
stand up on the staircase.
Don't
That'd be
cry
great.
for me, Argentina. 16 was her score. I mean, she's just so awesome.
Yeah.
I just love like learning a lesson every week. I don't know. It's such a great reminder. We move on to Bill Engvall and Emma doing the Paso Doble, which I kind of thought this is going to be good, even when I heard that this is what they got, because I'm like, they're just going to do something super theatrical.
Right.
I love that he doesn't care and he'll do whatever she says and he goes for it.
I loved his competitiveness. So, you know, when he was like, I want to win. I thought that was cool to hear instead of the stock, you know, well, I just want to do my best.
Right, I'm just gonna have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. I think Emma did a great routine. I'm loving her this season as an addition. I think she's super creative and a fresh sort of face and ideas on the show. I'm loving it. And he was so clean. You know, was the dancing good? Not really, but he did great, and he was clean. He had those arms down, his footwork down. You know, I was super impressed, and I enjoyed it. I loved it. I love the theme. I thought that's so original for a Paso.
Yeah.
So
He's
original.
enjoyable. Like I find myself rooting for him while I'm watching.
Love him. And he's a good student. You can tell that, like, Emma was like, do sharp. I mean, and sometimes sharp is stiff for him, which, you know, but you can tell that he's processing whatever she's telling him in the rehearsal studio, and it's going through his mind throughout the entire dance.
It seems like he's completely present whenever he's performing. Like he's really listening to the music, really in tune with her, and I love watching him. I think he is fantastic.
Yeah.
And he's another that's like the story is going to progress through the season, and I hope that they go far because I think he's fantastic, and I love her too.
He's a fun surprise this season. Anna, what did you think?
Listen, I think he's a hard worker. He's not the most talented out of the group, but because of his hard work and because of his commitment to pretty much do anything, it really pays off. I mean, was this Paso Doble the most amazing Paso Doble I've ever seen on Dance with the Stars? Absolutely not. It was kind of stiff, like Emma said, you know, stand up straight and stretch your arms, and that's exactly what he did. But at the same time, his whole body became very rigid.
Yeah.
But it's a process. Listen, he's not a dancer. It's just completely new set of skills for him. And I give him props for his spirit, for his commitment, for his hard work, and he is improving every single week. So, you know, he's not messing around. And, you know, I think them together are super cute. I've never seen Pocahontas with northern British accent before. So that was kind of interesting to see. And, I just love the whole package of them, Paso Doble or no Paso Doble together.
So much fun, and they wound up with a 24. Was that an encouragement score?
I think so.
That might have been one of those.
I think that he deserves that because he just needs that encouragement. I think.
I love it. We have a new term for season 17, encouragement scores. Hashtag encouragement score. Before we move on, I just want to remind you guys, continue to download us on iTunes, rate us 5 stars. We love to hear your feedback, and of course, tell a friend, because the word of mouth on our show has been great. When Suri and I started with season 17, it's built tremendously.
15.
What did I say? 17.
Yeah,
15. We started 15. Now we're at 17. But it's amazing how much that has changed. So,
So cool.
We love everyone that's joined us. And Jake, guess what you're going to tell us about?
You
Cereal
can
Buddies.
go online and you can buy Cereal Buddies. You can buy it on iTunes. You can go and get it at Barnes & Noble. You can get it wherever. And we never have really advertisements within our show, and this is something that can support us and help us fund this great, amazing place. So if you want to go and find something funny and watch it, we would like that. So watch it.
Thanks, Jake. Our little commercial break. Watch it, kids. I'm Jake DuPree. All right, we've got Amber and Derek next for the first of the Charleston dances. And we had two of these, dueling Charlestons. This was definitely a more contemporary take on it because it had a little element of hip-hop in it. Amber looked fantastic.
Oh my God.
That outfit, that hair, that makeup. I love her attitude. What do you think, Jake?
I'm going to say something to the judges. I am mad at you. I do not care for what you said about her at all. I get it. I get the footwork, the sharpness, but she gave an amazing, amazing performance. And I know they expect a lot from her, but I think it was unwarranted what the things that they were saying. It was just like nitpicky, but for just to be mean, I felt like. I didn't think it was credible at all.
How about the content in this Charleston? Because I want to sort of compare this to the one that Mark and Christina did. Was there a lot of Charleston content? Because I know that Len sort of harped on it with both of them.
There was Charleston content, but there was also a lot of other things. And me watching it, I love that because I got to see a really great piece and she killed it. And I think Derek choreographed it wonderfully. But if you're going to look at just Charleston content, I mean, come on, it was a hip-hop song.
Yeah.
You
What
know
are you
what I
gonna do?
mean?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Like, there were sections in that music where hip-hop just felt right. As a performance piece, I thought it was incredible. As a Charleston piece, it lacked. It did. There's no other way to get around it. It did lack in Charleston content.
And Anna?
I agree with Sharna. It was very not so much Charleston. It was the Charleston feel. How would I say that?
Yeah.
Charleston inspired.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of modern influences. There was some crumping, there was some hip hop, there was some booty shaking, there was some, a little bit of everything thrown together. The judges comment they nitpicking on her. For some reason, they decided to give her lower score than some of the other contestants. She still is a fantastic dancer. No matter what you're going to give her, she's still going to do a good job with it. Did I like the whole dance as a piece? I loved it. I thought it was very clever. So that's kind of that's my take on it.
Do you have anything to add, Suri, just on terms of like the content or what you saw? And
No, I think you guys hit it on every point. I love every number Derek does. I mean, he can't go wrong in my eyes, obviously, or in many other people's eyes.
He's
I'm
got
not
a
alone
couple
in that.
fans, like one or two.
It was great. I don't really have much else to say.
That's
about
okay. 24 was their score, and we'll talk a little bit more. We'll go back to this a little bit when we go into Christina and Mark, just looking at them side by side. But one was such a classic version of Charleston, one was such a contemporary version. It's kind of hard. Jack and Cheryl doing the cha-cha. I just love his groove. I don't know. He comes out on the floor, and I'm just like,
I wanted to do that slide. That slide was amazing. I wanted to go down that slide so bad.
There was a moment, though, where he was near the end. I was like, I had a little moment for him. I was like, hold on, buddy, hold on. But he made it. I saw him rehearsing that through the day, and I thought, wow, you got balls, man. At first when I saw it, I was like, he is not sliding down there on his heels like Derek did. I was like waiting to see it. Sits down on his good man.
You could see the scuff marks though all the way down even on television. But I love that Tom Bergeron, he's been doing such a great job of sort of interacting and doing some spur of the moment interviews. He's so good, and he asked him like, Jack, you almost ate it there. Okay, so the judges kind of felt like this wasn't Jack's best, that maybe it was a little lackluster, but I kind of liked it because it was so different than some of the old Hollywood stuff we were seeing.
Yeah, it was like Boogie Nights Hollywood. It was great. I loved it. I think the theme was great, for sure.
I just like that Kelly was like, it's been my dream to see my brother in fluorescent pink, and there he was. And I was shocked to see Jack Osborne in fluorescent pink.
Oh my gosh, that was great.
Every week he just surprises me. I just think he's so refreshing to watch. Every time he comes on, I always kind of forget he's in the competition, and then he comes on, and I'm like, I love you.
Jack's here.
It's just a wave of freshness. It's amazing.
Anna, how about you? What did you think with this cha-cha?
listen, I just think he's so cute.
Yeah.
That
Those dimples.
his personality, and this is one of the greatest things about him, and I think that's what we all connect to, is that he's able to bring his true Jack, honest personality through his dancing. It's like no matter what he does, he still is Jack. He's not pretending to be somebody he's not. He's just, this is who I am. And seeing him in these bright colors is like watching Teletubbies do cha-cha-cha a little bit. But it's just so cute. You know, you just want to hug him and like bite a piece of him. I thought this was a little bit of a weaker dance for him. I thought he was a little less confident than in the weeks before, but you cannot not like him. That's the great thing about him, and I think he's going to improve every single week. He's improving already. I think this routine particularly was harder than even his rumba routine in the content of it. And I'm glad that Cheryl is pushing him that way, because I think she recognizes that, listen, this guy can actually move.
Right.
And let me give him some harder stuff. But she's building up. She's not all of a sudden gives him something crazy. She's building him up, and I think it's very smart. And I just love him. I think he's awesome.
Yeah, and I just love that, like, you know, he's just out there, he's doing it, he's got such a great story, but he and Cheryl look like they're having a ball together.
They do.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
They've got a great relationship. I love watching them interact together on and off the floor.
She looks
It's
so
much
happy.
fun.
She just looks happy
She
this
does.
season.
Just happier.
Yeah.
Haircut, I don't know what it is. It's amazing.
Haircut, the body.
It works.
Everything.
She looks
It
great.
works.
Yep. All right, they got 22 for their cha-cha. Now we go on to our other Charleston with Christina and Mark. And I thought Christina, this was a really nice breakthrough for her. I thought her personality shined through more than we've seen in the previous weeks. And it was fun to see the classic Charleston. But should we talk about the clown face? Did we need that?
Was that necessary?
I don't know.
I gotta say though, I was a fan. This was my favorite number of the night.
It was mine too.
And I love how Mark is always so theatrical, and it actually reminded me of one of my favorite numbers from last season, which was Sharna and Andy with the help me.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Because I love that. I'm attracted to a theatrical piece like that. So for me, it was my favorite.
I loved how they started with the curtain out there, and you kind of thought they were in the back studio or something, and all of a sudden you're like, they're right out in the middle of the ballroom.
And
They
the
just
curtain
lift
lifts
it.
up. It's really cool.
It looked great on TV. Let's talk about the content in this one. So in comparison to what we saw, the other one was very hip-hoppy, Charleston-y.
Yeah, I mean, I think we said it. It was much more traditional. There was a lot more Charleston content in there. I think Mark did a really great routine. I'm surprised though Amber got spoken to about her, like the in and out of your feet in Charleston. And though there was a lot of Charleston content, I didn't really see much of that action.
That sharpness.
That sharpness from Christina. So I was surprised that didn't get commented on if that's what they're looking for in the Charleston. As far as the routine goes, I think it's great. I think she executed it really well. I mean, even the clown face, I loved it. It's like, to me, she was out there ready to present him, and all of a sudden, where is this guy? And he's like the broken down, dirty performer in the back. Like, I just want to get with my assistant, not perform, having a cigarette. I thought it gave a really nice vibe to it. And again, it was one of my favorite routines of the night.
Yeah, it was just such a bright light. I thought she looked great, and I like to see when someone sort of has that breakthrough. You're like, that's it. You're on it.
There's that moment in the season where someone has that sparkle moment, and this was it for her.
That Oprah aha moment. The light bulb goes on.
Yes.
Anna, how about
How
the
you
Charleston?
just put Dancing with the Stars and Oprah together is amazing.
You never know. Free association. Anna, what did you think of the Charleston?
Well, listen, like you guys just said, there was more Charleston content, yes, but it also was much more jazzy, right? So if Amber's routine was more hip-hop, then Christina's was more jazzy. If you actually look at it, half of it was kind of jazz. I mean, maybe you'll disagree, but this is what it came across to me. Mark having a face as a clown, this is Mark. He likes things like that. So whatever.
Mark likes to be a clown.
He loves makeup. Like, just let the guy. Like, if you notice, there's at least a couple times this season that when he dances with somebody, he's going to do a clown face. He's done it with a few of these other celebrities. This is his thing.
The eyeliner.
He likes guyliner. Yeah.
Guyliner.
Guyliner, yeah, white powder. He's just very artistic, and he needs to express that, and that's why we love him. I think it was a fantastic routine. It was a great piece. what was really great about this week for her is that she kind of connected the dots. You know, when she was like, okay, I got the moves, I got the spirit of it, I got the whole idea of what this whole piece is about. Because it was a little bit, you know, like a showgirl caricature, like they said, with, you know, the cabaret of some sort. It almost gave me a little bit of a cabaret feel of Liza Minnelli.
Yes, Sally Bowles.
So she connected all those dots together and was able to deliver the best of all those pieces put together into one routine. So great performance. Technically, could she be stronger? Absolutely. She could be much sharper with her feet. She could be have more tone through her legs. Okay, yeah, all right, let's nitpick. But why? It was a fantastic routine. So just, I think she deserves a score.
Yep, and she got 26, so 2 9s and an 8 on that Charleston. Then we move on to Snooki and Sasha, and I gotta tell you, or should I call her Nicole? Nicole, whatever. It's I'm having so much fun watching Nicole. This is like amazing. I can't call her Nicole. It's Snooki. I'm sorry.
I think she's a revelation. Honestly, I don't know what in her past life she did, but I think she was meant to be on this show at some point in her life. Like this is. I don't know, it's just a nice, shiny moment for her to kind of redefine herself and, like, her as a brand. I don't know. That was phenomenal to me. It almost made me a little bit teary watching that because it was probably the woman that she's always wanted to be. And I thought it was great. I think that they are such a fantastic pair.
I know, doing the quick step, and she almost was like a caricature of herself, and now she's like, I'm a mom, I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to go all out. And like Sasha sometimes doesn't know what to make of her, like in the rehearsal. He's like, what?
Slightly alarmed all the time.
But her improvement was drastic compared to last week, because I felt like they were I felt it was a little flat last week, and we lost a little bit of her personality, and this week it was just bam, it was there. I love that one-handed cartwheel.
Yeah, it was cute.
And they're both like the perfect little like nugget size.
Oh my God. So cute together. I really enjoyed it.
The girl's definitely a performer.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just nailed it. Anna, what'd you think?
I liked it. I really did. I think they had a great content, first of all. Let's talk about that. There were a lot of real quick steps. But what I really liked about this routine and the way it was constructed is that it was building up towards crescendo. Like it never really stopped in a good way. Like it started fairly slower and then it just progressed, and I really like that. And she was able to hold on. You could see she put a lot more work into this week because maybe she had to, maybe she got a little bit not hurt, but definitely I think she did get a bit hurt by the judges' comments.
She looks a little wounded.
And that was really good for her. Like it was good for her to go like, listen, girl, you can do this. And I'm glad that Sasha's like, well, we deserve the 6s, so let's just do better next week. And I think it's a huge learning experience for her as well to be on the show. And that's what I think we all like.
Yeah.
Is to see her almost transforming into what she didn't even know she could be, kind of a thing. But it's a lot of fun to watch her. She's a huge personality. I think she adds a great aspect to the show. I do have to say something about Carrie-Ann's comment, though. I mean, Snooki, as much as I love her, I think she's great, but really a star on a Hollywood Boulevard.
I'm with you with that, Anna.
Yeah, I
Was
think
that a little bit like we're talking about, like, Grace Kelly and like Barbara Streisand and like.
I think
So happy she said that.
Yeah.
Brought that up.
I think she meant like
that was just a slight exaggeration, and I think she did fantastic at the moment. But it's like, come on, really,
Yeah.
come on.
I know she's better than that. So, and she's showing herself with lots of class. Snooki. So, she got a 25 on this, and this is when I go, okay, the 27 for Brandt and the 25 for Nicole. makes me a little like,
Yeah.
Well, essentially, they're about the same level, aren't they? They should be either
Yeah.
both 25 or both 27.
fair enough.
Completely.
They probably should have been both 25.
Yeah, I think that would have been very fair because the 9s, I was like, woo,
Yeah.
that was gifty.
Yeah.
I love your woes. They're always the same. They're amazing.
And then we go to Bill Nye, the dancing guy, and Tyne. Okay, they had the jive. From everything I understood, they had the jive and it was switched to jazz. Is that correct? Does anyone know if their dance was switched because of his injury?
Probably because there was only one jazz in the entire week, which wouldn't normally happen.
Yeah.
So I would say they did have jive, and due to him being unable to do anything, they gave him a jazz routine. What did I think of it? I think he did a great job with what he could do. I think Tyne looked fabulous.
Oh my God, legs.
Seeing that girl in her element in the style that she really does, you know, which I think was super impressive. She's always been a great, talented girl, and she did what she could. You know, that's a really tough gig to handle. You don't want to push him to do anything that's going to hurt him more.
Yep.
You feel bad that he's doing this, but he won't give up. But you don't want to make him stand still. And she was creative with the arms and just getting him to do what she could. You know,
I thought it was a brilliant concept.
Yeah.
He's a robot. He has a
was
stiff
really
knee.
cute.
It was
Yeah.
adorable, and it was a
Yeah.
great way to go out. And again, it's that message. You don't quit. You just keep on going. And
Yeah.
you know, I think
I'm sure the fans appreciated him doing it.
I
Right.
think so too. It makes me like him even more. I think.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not the only one on that. So.
And I just seeing Tyne out there doing her thing. I die for a contemporary moment, obviously, because that's what I am. But like, I don't know, her feet, her legs. I was on
Those
my
pirouettes.
couch, like just like falling over because I mean, she had the eye of the tiger last night, and it was amazing. I'm a fan of her in that element.
In that element.
In that element.
Yeah,
Yes.
she looked great. Anna.
Yeah, I think it was very clever routine. He couldn't really dance, per se. He kind of, but you know what? It's interesting because I've seen people do dancing on wheelchairs.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he was going to get
crutches,
wheeled
too,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and there's like, it still is dancing. I mean, it still is expression of the music. Because dancing is expression of the music, essentially. That's what it is. Non-verbal expression of the music, right, through the body. And I think as much as his body allowed him, he did. And I give him, again, all the props for not backing down, for saying, listen, I'm still in the competition. I'm going to do the best that I can, and let's work around it. Let's find a solution. And I think that was a huge, huge thing. Again, a great lesson for everybody to learn that, you know, there are a lot of people right now in our country that have lost limbs or because of the war situation that we've been in, and to kind of not give up, you know, and be like, listen, you can still do crazy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he went out a winner.
You want to do, and I think that's I mean, I'm going a little dark here, but it's very empowering, I think, for people at home. So for him to do that, I thought it was a fantastic thing. I take my hat off to him. Now, was it basically Tyne's solo routine around
Yes.
Bill? Yes, it was.
I think we were all okay with that. I think we all understood.
Yeah, and it was okay because she's a gorgeous girl. She has an awesome body. She was in her own element, like you guys said, and she looked great in her own element. I'm glad they didn't have a jive. I'm glad they gave them the jazz because she was able to make it look pretty.
Yeah.
And he was there. He was the spirit, and she was the body.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And, you know, they get a 16, but even I think Len was like, I'd like to give you more just based on your,
What did he say? If you came out on the silver horse, I would have given you a 10 or something. Oh no, that was
Bill.
oh, my bad.
Other Bill.
Sorry, guys,
Now-
that was the other Bill.
Now we don't have to define bills because there's,
Yeah.
you know, Bill
it.
Nye did go home. Now, here's the one thing that I was kind of questioning. Was Bill Nye actually withdrawing and they did the whole, because he danced, they just kind of had him sort of eliminated. They did the formal ceremony around it because he even raised his hand and was like, Tom, and it looked like he was trying to withdraw. It seemed a little off.
Oh, I don't know about any of that. I mean, look, I think it was a given that he was going to go home. even if votes were going to keep him in, his score was too low to stay.
Gotcha.
It wouldn't have made up for anything, I don't think.
Because it's 50-50.
Couldn't dance anyway.
Yeah,
he couldn't
regardless of
dance.
scores or
Dance
anything.
anyway.
So, and so I look, maybe it was a producer's decision as well with him, and he wanted to go out on a high note, which he did.
He did.
He definitely did.
I don't really know what the situation was there. But at the end of the day, I think the right people stayed. Whether Bill was able to move or not, I think the right people stayed that really have a little bit of talent and that can show some great stuff.
Yeah, and it's a tough year, too, with all of these incredible dancers that we have sort of up at the top. It's tough when you're that dancer that doesn't really have a lot of training or anything else
tough.
that.
It's tough this season. I mean, when people like Leah, who I would consider any other season near a finalist, you know, somewhere in there in week 9 and 10, this season it's going to be really tough for her to be that because we have Corbin, because we have Amber, we have whether Elizabeth Berkley gets there or not. There are so many people with dance experience that can produce amazing things. Last season we had Zendaya and then we had Kelly that just came out and was incredible. This season we've got so many more. So there's like a really split line between those that can't and those that can.
Yes.
So it makes it really difficult for those that are really going on the true Dancing with the Stars journey of having no dance experience and learning how to put one foot in front of the other, you know, baby steps from the beginning, and that's the journey that we love to watch. So it will be interesting to see what goes through to the finale, whether people go for the journey or for the dancing.
Yeah, I think we're going to have some surprise elimination somewhere around the middle that we're thinking, this person's going to make it all the way through, and they don't.
Yeah.
For sure. I have a whole bunch of fan questions, but let's get to at least a couple of them. I know I like 37 or more, perhaps.
Thanks, guys.
I think it's like 37 entries and then 10 questions within each entry. We could be here for days. But Emily Bennett, of course, do you have any special rituals that you do before the show?
Special rituals. When I'm dancing with my celebrity, I always like to get together with them 20 minutes before showtime and just breathe the same air, you know, and just go through the routine and you listen to it and just get on the same page and zone into it. You know what I mean? It's about you and me at that point. So I guess that's my tradition. Then when I'm just performing, I'm kind of just talking to everybody, having fun and just enjoying the moment because I love Mondays and I love being there with everyone. I love feeling the energy, and I wish even being eliminated, I could sit on that couch and cheer everybody on. You know, I love the whole day.
Are you enjoying the glitter pit?
There's something about it that I love and something about it that I don't love. I think it sets for some really awkward TV moments.
There were a couple moments that no one was on the sexy bus stop. Like there were like 2 people.
Nobody.
Everyone left.
And then there's so often there are people standing up in front of the camera because the camera will be right there to look at to watch the judges and get the scores, and then someone on the end of the couch stands up and it's like you can't see anything. You know, there's been quite a few actually awkward TV moments going on the
Tony
last season.
texting too.
Yeah.
Peter getting caught with her phone whilst Brent was. Oh God.
Henry got caught in one of the live shots, and he talked
Yes,
about
that was amazing. The photo of it is incredible.
Yeah,
I
there's
love
just screen
it.
caps floating up there somewhere on the internet.
But the glitter pit or the sexy bus stop, as you say, it's fun because you're right next to the judges when you hear what they say. So you see all of our reactions, and I think it's great for the crowd to see more of our camaraderie between everyone in that relationship. But it's also difficult for us because we always have to be there. And what we like to do is leave with our partner so we can go through the routine. So they're not just sitting there watching everybody else going, oh my God, we're coming up next, and they were great, and oh my God, what are we going to do? You don't want that to happen to them. So you need to keep them in their own world, and we can't do that now because they're sitting out there watching everybody. Oh God, they got a 6, we're going to get a 3. You know, it's like things like that play on their mind, and I think psychologically that's difficult for some people.
And the producers love it.
And the producers love it.
Emily, of course, was like, love you, Sharna. Okay, Haley, I'm a huge fan of Sharna's with like 15,000 exclamation points. What are some of your hidden talents?
My hidden talents?
Yes.
Goodness, I'm a great cook. I love to cook. I'm a total yoga lover. I wouldn't know if that's a talent or not. I just love it. And I love to draw and create things. Like, I'm just creative sort of all round. It's not just dance and choreography for me. I love to draw. I love to make things. I cut out T-shirts and I've put spider webs in them and done different types of weaves in them and stuff like that. And sometimes I'll put stones on them because I'm a dancer and I can. But yeah, just anything creative I love. So building things and creating things. I'm pretty good at pulling things apart and not knowing how to put them back together, though. That happens when it comes to electronics. I tried to pull apart an Xbox once and it didn't go well for me.
Tech is a no. I believe this one's from Sally. She said, how do you keep your celeb interested and motivated? So how much of Dancing with the Stars is the psychologist versus the dance teacher?
That's a really interesting question for me this season because I struggled with that in the beginning. I think the celebrity has to discover it on their own self in some way that they can do this. For us, we build them with confidence and show them how well they learn and what they can learn. And it is very much life coach, best friend, support group, and then dance coach. You know, there's so much that goes into it. It's a 24-hour job. When we're not rehearsing, we're texting about it. And when we're not doing that, we're at wardrobe talking about it and keeping them comfortable and confident and in their own element, even though they're outside of it, you know. So it really is a very difficult thing. But keeping someone interested, someone like Keyshawn, for example, I just had to sit down and have a big heart-to-heart with him and say to him, this is my world. This is my love and my craft. And everybody around here that comes to this show does that so they can throw themselves in wholeheartedly. I need that from you. I need to see human moments from you. Everybody knows that you're a superstar and you won the Super Bowl and all the rest of it, but everyone wants to see who you are underneath that. And I think once the celebrity connects to it personally and emotionally, they begin to enjoy it more and become invested. When they go, it's dance steps. It's just dance steps and I'm just trying to do well and it's a competition, they don't connect. They don't connect with the audience. They're not invested in the process and they don't care whether they go on the next week or not.
Yep.
You know, so it's about getting them to connect to it emotionally. So did that answer the question?
That did. That was a good answer. We had a big discussion about your gold pants, and I have a feeling that this is where this question, Matthias, wanted to know if your looks distracted from your celebrity's performance. Probably the gold pants. He was also a fan last season of the cat suit.
Yeah. Yes. What did he want to know? What was the question?
Did your looks distract from your celebrity's performance?
Did they distract from my celebrity's performance? No, not enough. That wasn't actually the goal when I designed that costume. And when I don't know what I was thinking when I designed that costume. I was like, I'm going to be all in gold pants, gold corset, everything, because the song is Treasure. And I put on those gold pants and I was like, oh my God. They hide nothing, like totally unforgiving. And I was just a little freaked out about it. But I love that everybody loved them. I was a little insecure about them until everyone sort of went, wow. So thank you very much.
Hashtag. It was hashtag Sharna's butt. So
couldn't miss it.
No, it was good because I was like, Sharna's butt looked really good. And we gave it a shout out, I believe, in the show, if I remember.
Awesome.
You did.
I did, yes, because I was like, I want my butt to look like that, and it doesn't. So there you go. Trisha Solly, probably the biggest fan in the world of you.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She really is amazing. So let's see. She had so many questions. Let me ask. What is the best thing about doing Dancing with the Stars?
The best thing, the one and only best thing, that's really hard. There's so much that I love about it. I think the most wonderful thing for me is that I get to do what I love for a living. I get to create every week and I get to make these crazy things in my head come to life, you know, like the Alice in Wonderland thing. I had an opportunity to do something different and I love that. It's an outlet for me creatively. When you're like this, and you'll all agree, when you're like this and you have a creative talent but you have nowhere to set it free, it builds up inside you and you get a little irritated and kind of an angry person when you can't do it.
So true.
You know, and so for me it's an absolute blessing to have such a wonderful show that is loved by so many people and respected by so many people, where we do what we do. I mean, ballroom dancing was put on the map by this show, and I truly respect that and love it for that. So that's probably my favourite thing about working on Dancing with the Stars, other than the fact that everybody there is like my family, and it's just such a wonderful joy to turn up every day and go to work and talk to everybody. And, you know, your 5-minute breaks are always interesting, and because you're always talking to someone else, they're friends and family too.
That's awesome. Brittany wants to know, what are you doing with your free time now that you're voted off?
I have a couple of other projects going on. I'm looking at starting up a clothing line. It's more of a hip-hop wear line, though. I'm starting it up with my boyfriend, Paul Kirkland. And so we're getting into starting that. There's also a show that I'm putting together for a restaurant that's like a dinner dance thing that they want to do a couple of nights a week. But I've got a different twist on it where it's more like theatre in the middle of it, like unexpected theatre moments in the middle of the restaurant. Cool. Like you'll be sitting at dinner and all of a sudden a man will be yelling at a girl and she'll be like, I don't know, whatever is going on, the theatre moment of it, and a tango song comes on and it becomes an Argentinian tango and you're just there sort of looking at it like, how did this just happen?
What just happened?
And then they just sit back down and go back to eating their meal. I want it to be like that really random acts of dance. You don't know when it's coming and you don't know what it's going to be, but you know you're going to get something.
Sort of flash mobby, but yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
But lots of things, always been creative, and the English Strictly Come Dancing has asked me to go over and choreograph for them. And the Australian So You Think You Can Dance is coming back, and they have asked me to go over and do Top 100 week, but unfortunately we have our finale show at the same time. So sad face, I can't do it.
Don't you hate turning down something like that?
I know.
All right, so let's see. I guess we still have a few minutes. This is good. Let's see. From Tony, last season in an interview, Val mentioned that you were his female muse for dancing. Can you elaborate on what he was talking about?
Did he really?
I guess
love
so.
that man.
Do you guys just bounce dance ideas off of each other?
We do. We vibe really well together on creative ideas, and unfortunately last season I couldn't help him a lot, but the season before, and I've always been around with him creating his routines and his concepts and just sort of being that body for him to put choreography on. And he's very much that for me too. I love his dancing, I love his style, and I think he's just a super talented guy. So I was only working with him today, just bouncing ideas around for different things, and we're hopefully going to get to do a piece together on the show that's just a pro piece, which I think will be really great.
That's awesome. Jonathan, yeah, it's the hashtag Sharna's butt. It's there. He's our hashtag creator every week. Is there a song that you're dying to choreograph to?
A song that I'm dying to choreograph to? Probably a lot of things. There was actually a Foxtrot song that I wanted to use this season called Sexy Silk by Jessie J. I was really excited about that, but I never got to it. It's super sexy. Like, there's just something about it that I just can't wait to do something to. But who knows? I'm inspired by so many different types of music, swing music and big band stuff, and also Zed has got some great songs out. Clarity we've done. There was another one I was just hearing on the radio coming here, and I Shazammed it straight away because my Shazam is full of songs that I would like to choreograph to. I just need the time to do it.
All right, I'll take one final question. This is Georgia from Brazil.
Yeah. And I want to go to Georgia. Brazil.
I know. Well, we'll have to go and visit Georgia, right?
Definitely.
All of us. We'll do a road trip. Dancing with the Stars road trip. As someone who enjoys dancing, she said, but she's a non-dancer, she wants to know if it's hard to, and how you guys as pros choreograph to a 1-minute song, like a jive. Is that the constraints of the season, too? It's a much shorter dance.
Yeah, I mean, as the season goes on, the dances will get longer, but it is and it isn't difficult, especially in the beginning of the season. It's kind of a blessing to have less time and less content in your routine, so you can really work on technique and structure and lines and whatnot for it. But no, choreographing for a short piece is fine, as long as for me I connect to the song and it has a beginning, a middle and an end. I can't stand it when songs are edited weird in the middle of phrases and things don't make sense and all of a sudden it ends. That's just, that to me is when I'm on the phone, like, this doesn't make sense to me. But as far as choreographing a short piece goes, no, it's actually easier than choreographing a 3.5-minute piece where you have to put so much more content into it. But finding the right moves for your celebrities is a process. You try different things, you go from the basics, you see what they can do well, what they don't do well, and you work around that and build on it.
That's awesome. All right, I think we should get into predictions. Who we think is going home next week.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
I'm going to go to Anna. She's been silent for a little while. Anna, you still there?
Nope, I believe we lost her.
She's like, oh, what a bummer. All right, well, then I'm going to start with Suri this week.
Okay. I think it's between Peta and Brant and Val and Elizabeth.
Ooh. That's interesting.
Oh, that's interesting.
I do think that there's a surprise elimination coming up, and I don't necessarily think that you're wrong.
I do.
I'm not saying I want either of those couples.
No,
No.
I have a feeling that it's going to be.
I have an odd feeling that it might be Elizabeth too, and I hate that because I love Val and I think he's amazing, but I don't know. I don't know.
And I'd hate Val to be out this early,
Me
but I
too.
do think Elizabeth, it is going to be, we're going to see some of those people that we kind of thought were going to make it to the end. They're going to leave a little bit earlier than you thought.
Oh, that's really
I know.
interesting.
I
I could see it possibly being Brant, not for lack of talent, maybe lack of fan base and people being over the showmance thing. And just not getting the votes. I don't know, but he's also a very gorgeous man, and I think a lot of women are voting for him.
Yeah.
I find myself just sort of looking at him.
I know.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh.
Sorry.
It's that gleam. It's like gleam.
It's just pretty, but I don't know. It's a tough pick.
It is a tough pick, and Valerie is. People are hopefully voting for Valerie because she is going to get stuck with those scores that are on the lower end too. That's going to put her in jeopardy possibly.
I think she'll pull through.
don't
Look,
think
Bristol
she's going
Palin
home
made
yet.
it to the finale on 5s. You know what I mean? And this woman is actually an inspiration to people. So
That was the quote of the night.
Thank you. Thank you.
sorry, that was too far.
That
There's
was
the Sharna
good.
we love.
No, that was yes. No more said. That was enough.
Love it.
Amazing.
All right. Well, we are going to be back next week for week 4, and we'll see if we had a surprise elimination. I don't think you're wrong there, Suri. I think you're onto something. So, Suri, where can everyone find you?
At Suri Serano on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
You can find me at Jake_DuPree on Twitter and on Instagram at Jake DuPree.
And of course, we want to thank Anna for joining us. I'm sorry we lost you, but we'll see you next week. You can find me at Kristyn Burtt, of course, on Twitter. And Sharna, thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And where can we find you?
You can find me on pretty much any social media that you can think of under Sharna Burgess. It's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and everything else you can think of.
Fantastic. We love it. Well, thank you so much for being here. And we look forward to seeing all of you next week here on AfterBuzz TV. Thanks so much.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.